Idris here, and as I'm sure a lot of you know, Apple earlier this week announced 4 new phones. So I thought that I'd make a video to really discuss some of the things that Apple announced with their new phones that I'm really excited about. For the people that are confused about which model they should select, maybe this video can help you out. And before I get into the video and some of the new iPhones, I just wanted to quickly ask you guys if you can do me a favor, look on your screen for the subscribe button and smash it for me. I'm trying to make a big push to 1,000 subscribers. I know I don't have that many, and if you could help me out, I'd really appreciate it if you went ahead and subscribe. Make sure you drop a comment below and also hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. So Apple released 4 new phones: the iPhone mini, the iPhone 12, which I'll just call the standard iPhone 12, the iPhone Pro, and the iPhone Pro Max. And these phones are honestly, they're looking really good. I really like the design of them, very similar to the iPhone 4. The iPhone 4 was my first iPhone, and this really brings me back to those days. The design is great, different colors for you to choose from. The iPhone 12 mini is almost the exact same as the iPhone 12. And then the Pro and the Pro Max are a bit different in display sizes, but they offer similar functionality. I'll get into that in a bit. So let's talk about the displays of these devices. As the name suggests, the mini would be the smallest of the iPhones that you can choose from. So the mini comes in at 5.4 inches, whereas the standard version comes in at 6.1 inches, and they're pretty much the same. You are going to see a higher pixel count on the smaller devices, which is what usually happens. Usually the smaller phones have a higher pixel count than its bigger brothers. All the displays on these new iPhones this year are OLED. Going back to the sizes, the 12 Pro is 6.1 inches, and then the 12 Pro Max is 6.7 inches, which is the biggest display Apple has ever put on a phone. And all the displays look pretty good. They're OLED, as I mentioned, good quality, and they all get plenty bright. And the difference between this year and last year is that only the Pro model actually got the OLED display, whereas all of these devices come with the OLED display, which is pretty good. Honestly, Samsung and Android phones have had OLED displays for so long, and I really appreciate the types of contrast that you get when you're looking at an OLED display. The blacks are really blacks and the whites are really white, and it gets pretty bright, pretty dark, and it'll be interesting to see how far Apple goes with this new technology that they have on their phone. Well, not new, but you know what I mean. Also, one thing that Apple made sure they want to mention is that the new iPhones come with a new type of glass that they worked with Corning, which makes Gorilla Glass. This is supposed to make sure that if you dropped your phone, you will not break it. And to be honest, a lot of companies always say this, that it's very hard to break their phones, but at the end of the day, it's still gonna break. Just to wrap up the display topic, I really think that these displays look crisp. I'm gonna have to wait to get my hands on it to decide if they're actually as good as they seem on paper, but it's Apple and they usually do have pretty great displays. So moving on to cameras, all of these new iPhones, they actually feature a 12 megapixel camera, and that's a wide angle camera, and also a ultra wide camera. It's gonna be on all of them. They also all feature night mode, which gives you the ability to take photos at night. And honestly, judging by the samples that they gave, it looks actually really great. With the more expensive Pro Max and the Pro, you actually get LIDAR, which I have on my iPad Pro, and I literally have not used it one time. It's a good feature to have, but not really for me. But as a photographer, I can appreciate the depth that LIDAR would give a photographer when taking photos, especially at night. It really can process the photos and do a lot of cool things with it based on the models that Apple has shown off, and I'm really excited to see it and test it in the field. And if you go over to the front part of the device, you're gonna notice that it actually features a 12 megapixel camera, and that's consistent across all the devices. They all have a 12 megapixel front shooter. It looks good, as you can expect. Apple takes really good selfies. For any of you guys that want to snap some Snapchat with your buddies, is that what people say? I sound so old. Yeah, for anybody that likes taking selfies, you're gonna do well with the 12 megapixels that they have out in the front. As a photographer, I can appreciate the good quality that Apple tends to have, and especially on the Pro Max this year with the LiDAR capabilities, I can really appreciate that. But one feature that I'm actually excited about is the raw format of photos. And if you are a photographer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Shooting raw gives you the ability to edit and manipulate things the way you can't really do with regular JPEG images. So having raw capabilities on an iPhone that already takes quite amazing photos is a good benefit to have for any of your photographers. Now for me, I'm not gonna buy a phone just because it has raw or even a good camera. That's not really what I use my phones for. As a photographer, I like to use the expensive equipment. So I rather just take pictures and everything and put my all my media content is created on a camera such as the one I'm using now. So I wouldn't really buy an iPhone just for the camera, but a lot of people do. That raw feature is going to appeal to any of you guys that are in that boat. Also, they all have 4K video capabilities, which is a plus. Been on a few phones for a while, so it's not a new feature, but I thought I pointed out that they can shoot 4K video as expected. Another cool feature with the camera is that it also has 10-bit capability. The camera that I'm using right now that I mentioned a couple seconds ago literally does not have 10-bit shooting, so it's actually amazing to see it on a phone. And as somebody that shoots videos and photos, again, that is a little bit more appealing to me. It means that you'll be able to grade your footage a little bit easier by using the 10-bit as opposed to 8-bit, but I really gotta test it out to see before I make any strong conclusion. Powering this all is the A14 chip. It's Apple's newest chip, and something I found interesting is that while announcing it, they kept saying that it's the best chip ever in a phone. And they kept saying phone, and I know it's a phone announcement, and I might be a little bit of a conspiracy theorist right now, but they didn't say mobile device, and that will probably include tablet. And the A12Z apparently has better multi-core speed than the A14 chip, which is Apple's latest chip. My understanding is that the A12Z is a good chip and still the best chip. And that doesn't take away from the A14. It's gonna be a really fast processor. As they said, it's the fastest processor that's ever been on a mobile phone. So for any of you gamers, anybody that does intensive things with your phone for some reason, or just in general, you're gonna notice it being a lot snappier and lasting 4 or 5 years, as all Apples do, but you're not going to notice any slow speeds or lagging on the iPhone 12. One thing that Apple really wanted everybody to know is that these new phones actually have 5G capability, and the Mini is apparently the smallest device that has 5G capability. Now 5G isn't ready for the market yet, especially in North America. You're not really buying 5G for right now. You literally barely have anywhere to use it. You're buying it for the future. In 5-10 years, you're gonna be future-proof buying this 5G phone. Okay, so which phone am I going to buy? I'm gonna go ahead and purchase the iPhone 12. Just the regular version. I'm not gonna go ahead and purchase the Pro Max or any of the Pros because bigger display size is great. It doesn't really matter. 6.1 is plenty big, and they all feature OLED displays, so that you know the display quality is gonna be good. I'm gonna go with the 12 because I'm gonna be upgrading my aging 10R. What should you get? Well, I'm gonna help you out. First of all, if you're coming from the SE, do not upgrade to the Mini because you just bought the phone. It's not that much of a difference between the 11 and the 12. If you have the 11, you might as well just stick with the 11, unless you really want the OLED display. It's not really that much of a difference. If you're with the 10R, such as I am, go ahead and upgrade it. Seriously, it's worth the money. You get a way better camera, you get night mode, you get a good display, which is OLED if you get the A14 chip, so you might want to upgrade. Last but not least, if you have any of the older phones, you might want to go ahead and upgrade. This is a good time as any. Honestly speaking, this is like the best Apple announcement we've had in years, and it's finally urging me to upgrade my 10R. So that's what I'm gonna do. What are you guys gonna do? Drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys are planning to get. Also, let me know your thoughts on this video. I'd really appreciate as much feedback as I can get as I grow my channel. I appreciate you all, and thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Peace.